Next Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, we'll kick off our coverage of the chase for the Sprint Cup with NASCAR. Sprint Cup Series action at New Hampshire, presented by GoDaddy.com. Coverage begins at 1 o'clock Eastern Time on ABC. 7 different winners the last 7 New Hampshire races. Jeff Burton leads all drivers with 4 wins in NASCAR Sprint Cup Series action at the 1 Mile Magic Oval. Riding along with Michael Waltrip, back in his Toyota in the 55 car, being shown in 23rd position. They are chasing Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 88 car. It is Earnhardt Jr. the leader. Denny Hamlin, who dominated here back in May, running in second spot. Kevin Harvick, there's the 29 car in third. Tony Stewart looking for win number 1 in 2008 is fourth. Clint Bowyer trying to hold on to that 12th position is 5th. Kyle Busch, Jeff Gordon, Jeff Burton, David Reagan, Matt Kenseth. And now let's go up to speed, starting from 11th on back with Mike.
And of course, that's Jimmy Johnson in the 11th spot right now, Doc. This race started off with a little bit of concern for Johnson. The splitter was bottoming out in the corners, but as the pressures have come up in the tires, that problem has gone away. The only concern right now, he's just a little bit snug in the center, but they expect that to get a little bit better as the race goes on. Jamie?
And Greg Biffle sitting 12th right now. The team elated. You saw him celebrate at the start of the show as soon as the green flag dropped. They were clinched in only his 2nd chase effort. He hasn't been in the chase since 2005. So a big day for Greg Biffle. He said this is the first race he's ever been in where points don't matter and he can just ride around and have fun and experiment. Shannon?
Yeah, Jamie, right behind him is Jamie McMurray running 13th. Richmond has definitely been one of those tracks that McMurray has struggled out, especially in the recent races. On that last run, he told his crew chief that the left front was locking up and it was really free in and tight in the center. Air pressure adjustment for Jamie McMurray, who is currently running 13th.
Shannon, Mark Martin wanted this track back in 1990. On that first run, the car was a little bit out of sorts for him, so they changed 4 tires, made an air pressure adjustment for him. His teammate right behind him, Martin Truex Jr., hey, he gets his crew chief back this week. Kevin Bono-Manion coming back after a 6-race suspension. He is back, and he says, man, am I glad to be back. I enjoyed the time with my daughter Avery, going to the donut shop, watching the races on Sunday afternoon, but this is where I belong, and he's happy to be back with these guys. On that first run, Ryan Newman in the 12th car, loose into the corner, tight in the middle of the corner, loose off the corner, air pressure and track bar adjustment. He's reported since then that he has a little bit of a right front chatter in that car. Not the greatest news. And his teammate Kurt Busch, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, his car was a 9 loose. So they took a spring rubber out of the right rear, took tape off the nose of that car, gave 4 fresh tires. Oh, look at that, Shannon.
Yeah, Dave, it's been a pretty solid weekend for the 42 car of Juan Pablo Montoya. He had a great practice session on Friday, was on top of the speed charts for most of the afternoon. Right now, he's currently 18th in the standings, running 18th on the track. Well, Juan Pablo Montoya is saying that the car is loose and it's chattering like crazy right now. Air pressure adjustment was all they made on that last pit stop. Jamie.
And behind him, Brian Vickers. So far, they actually said they were getting tight in the center, but they had a good pit stop. You remember back 1 week ago, this team suffered on pit road. They went behind. They had a fast race car, ended up 12, so they're trying to rebound, sitting 19th. Shannon?
Yeah, David Gilliland currently running 12. He started this race. He said the car was awesome. He told his guys over the wall, he said, don't let me do anything to mess this up. Well, they went caution on the track.
70 cars had contact with the wall guys rolling up the backstretch.
Looks like he lost the right front tire.
He hit the wall very hard, Johnny. Yeah, definitely knocked the toe out of it.
Johnny Sauter, the driver of that car, hitting the concrete coming up off of turn 2. There's the damage on the right side, right front tire down. Pancaking, taking some of the number and paint off. They will bring out yellow for the 2nd time today.
And you've wondered that could be a case of melting that bead on that right front tire here, because you do use a lot of brake.
That tire does get that wheel gets so hot from that brake heat that it'll actually melt that bead on the tire. And I'm sure that's what's happened here.
Normally that wouldn't be a big deal as high up as he was, but that's where everybody's running right now.
Yeah, we see here, this is a toe in he's talking about. He knocked out the toe. When these cars hit the wall, they bend all these rods that hold the steering straight and knocks it out. You know, you want these things running parallel to each other, but when you hit the wall and bend this stuff, it does knock that toe in out. can see right here, if you scrape it like that, it just bends that. All the suspension parts, the lower control arms, ball joints. When you get that stuff out of line, then you've got a toe-in problem or toe-out problem, as we see here.
Under caution, Dale Earnhardt Jr. headed down to pit road. He was being shown as a leader and will commit to make a pit stop. So does Denny Hamlin, Harvick, and the other leaders up front. They following him in at 40 miles an hour. Jamie?
And Jeff Burton, nice and refreshed, went home yesterday, hung out with his family, went to a movie, pulls into his pit box. He said he just needs a little more rear grip, 4 tires, track bar adjustment, and air pressure. Dave?
That run, the 17 was mostly loose, according to Matt Kenseth. They will make a track bar and air pressure adjustment. Shannon?
Loose in, tight in the center, loose off, as Dale Earnhardt Jr. saying about the car, but no changes for your race leader. Mike?
The 18 trying to rally back from a poor pit stop the first time they came down pit road. They swing around to the left side. A very clean stop so far. 4 tires and a chassis adjustment on Kyle Busch.
Great pit stop down there on the 88 bunch, and you see Kyle wasn't going to take any chances sliding through his pits. He almost stopped short. There's Earnhardt Jr.
Pit crew paid it off, too. They got him another spot.
Matt Kenseth gains 3 spots. Bowyer back a couple. Jimmy Johnson up a spot, puts him in the top 10. Back in a moment.